Magnus, so that is 2 failed death saves. Did you already have one? No, right?
No.
All right,
One success, 2 fail.
Make it 4 fails.
Oh, I'm ultra dead.
You are KIA.
Fair enough.
Leaves you, and then it's got the sails with 10 feet. Join us. Rip. All right, Gagler's turn. All right, it is going to fucking. It's no longer grappled is the thing because is like 2 sizes smaller than him now. But you know he's basically winning this fight, so he's gonna gouge. Oh wait, no, this is the winning bit. Okay. He flies up in the air 20 feet and then back down 20 feet, giving him momentum for a powerful gouge attack. He does this against
Does get an opportunity attack when he goes up?
He does at disadvantage.
But he has a D4 from Bless. No, wait, no, that wouldn't affect this, would it?
Or attacks?
No,
yeah,
it would.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fuck, I hit it. I didn't hit the toggle on it. There it is, so... Neither of them... Man. Come on, Bless! Need a 3. Or need a 4, rather. No, that wouldn't have helped either of them. Its AC's 15, not 14. The gags are 14. Alright, so yeah, that didn't work out in either case. He is flanked, so the thing actually still has advantage. Come on, crit. Any year now. Not a crit, but still definitely a hit. So, deals back because reflective damage. 13. So that's a 32. Oh, that's really weak, huh? It could just leave. We'll think about it. So let's see. 32 minus 13. That's 29. 19. Yeah. 19. Meanwhile, takes 40, 12 plus. Takes 40 points of damage, which he's gonna pop to him whatever the fuck you pronounce it as. So that is 70 HP minus 40. That brings him to 30 temp HP, and he is restrained at his turn. Oh, Brongar would have gotten an attack of opportunity too. I realize. Watch as Brongar crits and then kills it somehow. Oh wait, no, that should be at disadvantage. Oh no, what matter anyways? Okay, so 11. Okay, so this thing has 8 HP. It's at 8 HP. 8. Okay, so that's one. That's one of its attacks. It's going to attack you in its grasp. It detects that the infestation hasn't taken hold in you, Jace, so it's just gonna, similar to you guys with the riots, sort of squash that. Oh, I can push up. No, fuck, no, not that one. It gave me the fucking coding on the fucking that one. Pretty sure it hits you.
If I didn't use Bless, I would have enough to stay conscious. Fucking goddamn it.
You take 28 points of damage. You're once more unconscious.
Oh, wait. Oh, the first one was to hit. Oh. In that case, I have exactly 1 HP.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Don't worry, it has a plan for this.
A second attack.
Well, no, it's going to use its gore attack to attack Brongar.
It's just going to fly up and drop me.
Exactly.
Entertaining enough.
You only have 1 HP. You are unconscious. Brongar disappears from the world because, yeah, because that's how mounts work. When they're like familiars, they die and they go away. So you're at 0.
Yeah.
And it is 40 feet up in the air. up 40. Is actually sort of stuck because he's too Levistus. So yeah, there goes turn. You're gone. Genevieve is on her way out. All right, it is Dusk's turn. He could actually kill it from the inside. It's a funny thing. He takes 18 damage. He's at 18 health. It's a good thing he fucking second winded last turn because he got 18 health from that. So,
Oh, nice.
okay, so disadvantage doesn't hit. Doesn't hit. Man, they're both like right there. Like they're one.
Because
Alright.
roll 20 is like, okay, this game's over.
Yeah,
It's done. Just die.
Yeah,
already.
I gotta keep moving.
Just gotta wrap it on up.
This guy is going to sprint over to where is. Wait, what the fuck? What? Just tell me. Wait, did I push the button too many times? What happened there? Okay, whatever. They're next to each other. So yeah, Gag Blue is so he moves to Dust does that stuff. Genevieve. She has one failed death save. Now she's evened out. Orange guy, he's gonna hold an attack for when pops out of the Tomb of Levistus. Jace, make me a death save.
There you go.
Success. Red Gag. Where's Red Gag? Oh, there he is.
Dead? No, not dead.
No. Just Hex. No, yeah, you're dead. Hex Piercer's gone. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it wouldn't matter if he died.
this guy is going to go over here, finish you off, Jace. So that's 2 attacks, auto crits, 4 failed death saves, and then it's gonna be ready for and the bird is going to. It's going to fly 60 feet up into the air, putting it to 100 feet, and is going to regurgitate Dusk.
That's just insulting.
Sending him down 100 feet, so that is approximately 22 points of bludgeoning damage on
Not nearly as
Dusk.
much as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's actually just, it's really weird. I don't know. Rolled low, I guess. Dusk only had 18 HP. He is now at 0.
His malnourished bones snap, crackle, and pop.
Yeah. Let's see. Has still active, but he's 79 HP. No more temp HP. That goes away after Tomb of Vistus goes away.
End of his turn.
Well, he already had that last turn.
Oh, okay.
I honestly don't know what to do because it's literally watching me fight against myself. So
just call it a wrap. Because
that's sort of
yeah, because like there's nothing he can do except for run potentially. And
sort
that's
of the
even a
bit
stretch.
though.
Yeah,
that's sort of the bit though. He as himself, he actually can't do a lot. Oh shit, that's the wrong thing. He can't do a lot of attack damage. All of his damage comes from being attacked.
Yeah, but all of his stuff to capitalize off that is kind of down and out now.
Yeah, so I actually don't really know. So,
well,
yeah, here. I'll save us here. I'll save us some trouble. Okay.
Does he have Eldritch Blast?
He does. But okay, well here's the bit.
Okay, here's the thing: is him as a character. I don't think he would run and just Eldritch Blast behind him or anything. I don't.
Well, the other bit is like you have like 3 creatures about to attack him and restrain the shit out of him.
Yeah. And
So here, I'll save us the trouble here. And thus we end today's session.
I mean, what a game!
What happened to the world will never know. Congratulations, you guys had your first TPK. Even though I tried to get it in the last main campaign. Oh well. Oh, well.
Yeah, he's just now the champion of this bird creature as the one that was so hard to
kill. There's actually a thing. I told Garth about this a while ago. So you know how Spirited Away, there's like No Face, the guy No, there's I was gonna here let me find it. Alright, let me close out the sheets. Oh, I want the web. Oh, fine. I'll do the webtoons. Yeah. So I actually saw this, and this is super like funny to me. So I was gonna combine No Face with this, essentially, the guy from that, from that, like the not the, and that the thing you heard at night was that guy, the guy who wants to be friends with, and then kill the thing that he's friends with. But the thing is, he's looking for the Gaggler. He wants it as a mount because they both have like they both have stuff that pop out of them. So he's like, oh, perfect. So yeah.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Funny side note: this is my first character death in D&D.
Ooh.
I think that's the
Happy
same
to be
for,
your
like,
first?
everyone.
Happy to be your first?
I mean, after all the other sexual jokes, I feel like that's a good one to end this minigame on.
Yeah.
This minigame that lasted, like, 3 sessions?
Something like that, yeah. I mean,
3,
yeah.
Yeah, because technically it's my first death as well, but I've only massive.
Yeah, so the fight went differently than how I was expecting.
I feel it would have gone a lot better if we didn't roll absolutely crap.
You guys rolled rather poorly.
Besides
like,
me, I kept rolling that 20s, but like even
yeah,
then,
you
I
were
didn't do a ton of
fine, but
damage.
everyone else you rolled rather poorly, and I know that's no excuse for D&D. Take this in the spirit it's intended. Okay, so this is my. I'm not a tactician, but I am the guy that made the encounter, so I had to forecast roughly what you guys were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
We would get
it would be a matter of Jace, you would do healing as you did healing. That's where it is. Genevieve would constantly target the Gaggler, so it would only basically do half damage at any given point in time. She fucking missed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I anticipated Dusk getting grabbed, but I imagine you guys would have helped free him because you guys could also free each other. But that's not something I openly said. It'd be something you guys actually think to help one another. So there's that. The other bit as well, though, is the Gaggler was a monstrosity. So I anticipated Dolly was going to focus on it and get the expanded crit range and all that other stuff, as opposed to focus on the undead.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would leave and Magnus to focus on the undead guys. Because, like, as you saw at the end there, the undead were very, like, they weren't likely to hit but it wouldn't matter if they hit or not, because they would just be taking damage from him regardless, if they hit or not. Like, eventually they would die from hitting him outright. So, it's part of it's like an inverse action economy when you get the enemy to spend their actions to kill themselves. So there is that. And then Magnus, you obviously were able to do spike damage, but obviously in this case, yeah, the rolls were not with you guys. That's another factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some choices now that I look back at the combat that I should have done differently. But hindsight is always fun.
It's all a learning experience. And the lesson I told you guys when I was trying to kill you guys at the end of the first campaign, this is all game. Especially this one, the mini campaign in specific. This is definitely more gamey. I know some of you liked it more than the others, but it's just the game.
I had fun. If I had survived that last round of assault there, I would have tried to teleport near and then use Dimension Door to haul us out of danger.
Yeah, there is.
Alas,
it was a deadly fight. It was meant to be a hard and deadly fight, especially when you guys were down a person with Dusk. I had the idea in my forecasting that Dusk would do everything he could to be like to dodge and stuff like that, but then your guys' tactic called for him to stay near the front to chop down the tree, which did good damage, don't get me wrong, but nonetheless, like, might have had more of a responsibility of protecting him as opposed to having him helping you guys in a tactic. Yeah, that's yeah. But hey,
sorry, that's not my alignment.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But hey, at least this time, it's not like only the good people died and all the bad people escaped. We have that going for us. Yeah. Oh yeah. Since the main campaign is over, is it? No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. This one. So what's up with all the camps and the towns and stuff like that? In case you guys want insight into what my plan was for this campaign, the corruption site would have been at the waterfall. Up it, to be specific, there would have been a bunch of statues. One of which was still bleeding out of its neck, throat slit neck. And it's like, how the fuck does a statue bleed? Oh, I don't know. Don't worry about it. You guys are right to be. I saw you put in the description for the videos, Garth. Their kindness is concerning. You were right to believe so. Between Altslit and Dejela Luin, Altslit is the more deceptive town. Their bit is the Pin Serpent isn't actually alive anymore. It's actually been dead for centuries, but it still has power. Like the corpse still has power, which is what Ramafti was using to make basically fish people, like fish mutant people. And you guys would have the storyline for Altslit is a mother began noticing there's stuff in her house that her son would have done, but she gave her son as tribute to Ramafti to become better than they ever possibly could. But the son just sort of came back and he didn't want to be a part of it anymore, so he just kept living in his own house without his mom knowing about it. So yeah, he could have been an NPC for you to join you guys. He was a level 8 NPC.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it would have been like, yeah, there's something out of the town. It turns people into fish people. And then you guys would have to fight Ramafti. There is no Licoratus. There's literally none. Like, he was lying. Like, he was never... He's like... Or, there is, but he's not a Licoratus anymore. He's like the head fish person. That, or serpent person, right? I shouldn't say fish. Serpent people.
Like Yuan-Ti, kind of?
Sort of like Yuan-Ti, yeah. The deal of Dejela Luin, it's actually... They spoke Druidic. As I told some of you before, which is why no one could talk to them, which is why I was really interested if O picked up Druid, because then he would be the only one that could talk to them. But you also have comprehend language, so he's probably still been able to communicate with them.
I also realized in retrospect that comprehend languages only works one way.
Oh, does it really?
You understand
Yeah,
what
it
they're
doesn't
saying,
let you
not the other way.
speak. You only understand.
Oh.
Well, okay, well, that still works if you cast it on them and you could at least write out sentences and stuff. I don't know.
I think it has a range of self.
Oh shit! Okay, never mind. Never mind.
So wait, you would be able to talk to them, but you wouldn't know what they're saying? Is that
They would be able to talk to me, but we
Okay.
wouldn't be able to communicate back.
Okay.
Going back to it as well. Wait, no. Does Augmenter have comprehend language?
I don't think so.
Okay, I was gonna say you could use the visceral seal to sorcery cast it
Wait, what?
and stuff like that.
Because
Because,
I see what you mean.
Yeah, because range of self goes to range of 30 feet. Oh, no, it has to be touch. My bad. Never mind. I'm drunk.
Yeah, that's what I was asking
yeah.
the other day, because there were like so many spells that's like, oh, this is self. If I could cast it on someone else, it'd be awesome. And it's like,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Speaking of the items, you guys didn't use those as much as I thought. I thought for sure Ur was going to use the Dawnbreaker Crest on the undead guys. I thought for sure he was going to use that. He didn't end up using it.
Mine just felt like it had kind of like a mostly limited use, although I could have definitely used it better at the end.
What, to how many hollow points did you have by the end of it?
None.
I assume you converted.
Yeah, no, I converted the whole thing. Because I
Yeah,
only
you
had like
converted
6 points.
Yeah. That's 48 points of healing. Nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
Dusk never used the upper...
That.
Dusk never used the upper edge gauntlets, which gave a free 2d4, so he could have actually started doing damage.
Oh.
Like, inside of it. Especially at the end when I only had 8 HP. But he never used it up until then, so I didn't bother using it. Used the Consigner Greaves, but he didn't use the Dawnbreaker Crest. You didn't use the dagger, I noticed.
I had a plan for it, but the conditions never...
Yeah. Another thing in my forecasting that Dusk could have done is he could have fully embraced the Apex Predator mantle. Because it's sort of like Blood Hunter, in that if you hurt yourself, you can get free damage, like a free d6 of damage. Of psychic damage, I might add. So he could have actually dealt like a d4 plus a d6 of damage every attack. He would just have to hurt himself once in order to get it going. But again, he didn't use items, so yeah. Oh well. But yeah, that was that. So that's the story with Altslit. What's the story of Dejela Luin, you might ask? So Dejela Luin, which I'm saying it wrong, it should have a much more severe Celtic accent when saying it, because that's what my Druidic is inspired by. It's actual, where the Druids actually came from. Celts. The The story of
I'm
Djalaluin
gonna
was
try doing that accent right now.
Djalaluin. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But the point of Djalaluin was that the townsfolk actually they have a fell god that is active, like it's alive and it's very active, and they're very afraid of it. Like they're definitely fearful of it. It actually has watchers that would shoot a fancy arrow into someone's door if they fucked up, and they're basically slayed to be executed. It's an arrow made of a marble head and then a really specific type of like wood and leaf fletching and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the bit with the Djalaluin's fell god is it's called the Timber Mason. It's like a 3-headed fell god that is still active, and he has with it 3 hunter sculptors, which are like basically like predator like style things that just like lurk in the forest, make just fucking catch you doing something. It's like secret police. The catch is a hunter sculptor looks like any other statue.
Oh, that's what the statues.
Every time you guys ran into a statue, I rolled to see if one of them would be a hunter sculptor and if they would follow you or not.
Were they?
Oh, okay.
No, none of them were.
Aw.
I know. I'm sorry. So yeah, but all the statues you guys see were victims of the hunter sculptor that just leave them there as potential cover for themselves, as well as it's a message. Don't fuck with us.
Interesting.
Oh, that's
So
really
the
kinda
conflict
creepy.
between the two towns is one of a rising new god and a dead one that's still very powerful. And then, you pick one to side with and then kill the other side with, etc., etc. So Ultzla had its own snake special forces versus Djalaluin had like a 3-man assassination kill squad. So that's what's up with them. And I'm sure you're wondering, what about the 4 wisps, Crash? That actually is a third-party fell god. There's a hag in the area. Her name is Glismodis. She is the Swamp Light hag. Her Swamp Light agents are those 4 wisps you saw. And you were correct in saying that they were playing with you in the sense of how, like, which one would communicate with you first, which is why the common one said, I win, I win, I win. The undead lady you guys ran into was not associated with them. Good thinking, though. I could see where the connection lies. I can totally see it. No, I agree with you. It makes sense. But yeah, eventually, as the campaign would have gone on, Glismodis would have just started fucking with you guys. The Wisp would have fucked with you guys. They would have also fucked with the towns. So, like, the towns can't just go fight each other. They also have another fell god in the region, which has been fucking with the place.
The big fat one?
So, no, the fat guy's he's not a fell god. He's like a demi. He's like a chosen champion of like a fell god of just eating stuff. And he's the little fat tribute thing you found in the cabin. Yeah, that's what caused. His name is Gurnal. Gurnal is a fat guy that wants to be friends with everyone. Gurnal. It's Nurgle. It's an anagram of Nurgle.
I see.
Yeah, so Gurnal was called here by that tribute, and then he just sort of liked it here. He just meets a lot of friends and eats them. And then he's like, Gagler friend! Gagler friend!
I'm honestly disappointed that we didn't run into that guy now.
It was a random encounter. It was a random encounter.
Yeah.
No.
So what was with the crucified? Well, I shouldn't say crucified, but the guy that was like pinned to a tree.
I get what you mean. Yeah, so
tree,
the Sickleborn were a 4th party faction in this, because if diplomacy were so easy as to pick a side and then just get on with it, then it'd be too easy. So I wanted to throw multiple factors in that sort of distorted easy picks. So
funny you say that. My notes when you said Sicklebone tribe, I was like, in my notes I wrote potential threat, potential asset, should investigate.
Yeah. So you guys didn't actually go up close to investigate the guy, but to the Sicklebone tribe, they're based off a Warhammer 40k Space Marine chapter, which are mutants, which are essentially they could sort of shoot bone spikes out of the bones of their arms, which is why they get.
Called. I literally looked them up last week or something.
They're called the Black Dragons in Warhammer 40k lore, but they have an entire. Yeah. But the catch to that book, it's a book of betrayal where they betray themselves, because in that Space Marine chapter, some of them are kept pristine looking so they can get away with inspections, while the more mutant and jagged looking of them are more honored and more combat ready and stuff like that. Same for the Sickle Bones. So the messenger there, he was normal looking. The normal Sickle Bones, they aren't normal looking. Like, they have like mutations to them, which is why the Gaggler, the ones that he has, these are also sickle bone, and that's why they have like all these like bone sharp bits on the inside. So they didn't have that when they were alive, but the mutation and the infestation didn't help the situation. But yeah, so if you went to go investigate the corpse there, you would have noticed that the arms would have been messed up, like the bones for one of them would have been removed, which is like a huge insult to a sickle bone member. Like, this is the thing that makes your tribe you. We just yanked it out of your arms. Ha ha ha. And the ones that did that were the special snake agents of Altslet. They would, sort of lurk around and stuff like that. And, do Ramafti's will. So imagine Ramafti is Hitler, and then they're the SS. In a weird sense.
Yeah.
If you guys helped Ramafti the river, he would have gone through. He would have fixed Dusk. He would have fixed Dusk. If one of you guys got infested by the Gaggler, he would have helped fix that. His power would have been restored. Because the other village was trying to sabotage it. That's why there's statues in the river. They're bleeding. Funny note about that. The statue that bleeds. So Altslet has its own story with the mother and her son. In Dejela Luin, a guy would remark that his sister was marked for death. Her door had an arrow shot at it, and then she disappeared, never to be seen again. His sister would be the one statue that's like bent over, bleeding out of her throat, and corrupt in the river. So, and then you guys would have had to put it to him in awkward terms, like, "Yeah, we saw some of that match your sister's description. We sort of smashed the statue of her. Our bad." Again, diplomacy has its causes.
Or we
but
just don't mention that and don't get ill will.
That was the other bit. Like, you could have just not mentioned it, but like, but yeah, going back to it,
Let's be like, she's probably
exactly. The bit with Altslet, because Ramati told you guys that some villagers fell sick and that he treated them. If you guys like sleuthed around the town, you guys would have noticed as you looked into places and done like just a cursory look, no one was sick. No actual town's villagers were sick. The ones that got sick were the snake agents because they swim in the water, and they're a bit more receptive to any corruption in the water. So, yeah. You could have discovered one of the snake people looking at you at night for Magnus and Dali, but you guys said you're looking out the window and stuff like that. If it was just a general perception check, I would have allowed it, but they're actually, because you guys are in the water, they actually were like underneath the water, like the boards of the piers. They would follow you as you guys were going through town. They would always be underneath you. They're sort of
that's really creepy. Oh, no, I don't like that.
And the thing is, you wouldn't be able to see them because they're in dark areas, literally underneath you. Like, there's just so much going on. So, yeah, they're really like a snake assassin special forces group.
Yeah, that really makes like our speech earlier about the why everyone's quiet at night kind of.
Why was
a little bit?
Why was this like a massive trap area?
Oh, the sickle bone put a bunch of traps.
Oh, okay. They're just being assholes. They're just being assholes. Gotcha.
Well, they're being safe. You actually could have followed the trail of the Gaggler.
Or gotten eaten by him. I mean, there's two options here.
Yeah, there are some things. I had some stuff. If you guys went after it, it was basically the Gaggler would run, but only if you guys could assert dominance over it. As smaller creatures. But when brought out the beast, it was like, no. I am the alpha on this term. No.
So you guys it's all his fault. Gotcha.
Sort of, yeah.
He definitely drew more attention. There you go.
Yeah, I thought he would bust out in the middle of the fight, not at the beginning, to be honest. Which is why I put the threshold for it. It's like, okay, well, is it at half health? It will run. That was the whole threshold for it. Is it at half health? It will run. It will leave its gag behind if a bunch of smaller creatures prove dominant over it. And then you guys would see it again with Gurnal, and he's like, "Friends, I found my own big friend." Yeah. So
oh god, there's two of them.
Yeah, it would have been some shit. It would have really been some shit.
Yeah.
The funny thing, the gag wouldn't attack you because Gurnal isn't attacking you, and Gurnal is its master now. That means that Gurnal would eventually attack you.
God damn it, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Hey, we can recycle him. We can recycle. But yeah, so that's what's up with that. He would have ran away, but it was basically a causation of could you prove dominance over it? And honestly,
That's
because you guys sort of didn't roll too well against it, and I thought you guys would like focus fire on it, thus getting it to half health faster. Again, like crit range for Ranger and stuff like that, all that sort of stuff. I thought you guys would get there faster. But the rolls were not with you guys, to be 100% honest. So
those minions were fucking strong.
Yeah, if I would change
Yeah.
one thing, I would have made the minions a lot weaker. I would have made
Yeah, they
them
had,
like
like-
yeah.
They had like
Oh,
114 health, you said?
one of them had 114 health. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christ.
And they also had
Like,
Undead
my-
Fortitude as the
Because
kicker,
the-
so it's like, even if you knock them down, they could get back up.
Because the kicker I had for it was that I needed a challenge to remain there once it left. That's
Mhm.
why they were pretty tough. So I was like, okay, so Big Bad Thing runs, it leaves its minions behind. You guys can still fight the minions and have a challenge. Big Bad Thing did not run.
Instead,
you
we
still
just
had-
have 2 big challenges.
Yeah, so that's
one
that.
less
I would
fighter.
say going forward that would probably be something. That's definitely a
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause
That's
I
a
think
learning
something my idea was take out the gaggle thingies and then focus on the big game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
took
think
so
that
long
would,
to take them out, and we didn't take them
Well,
out.
that didn't really. Yeah. They
Well,
were
yeah,
stronger
that's
the next
that's
That was my
okay.
vibe too. That was me too.
No, it's a sound tactic because the gagged aren't smart. Like, yeah, they engage in like pack tactics and flanking. That's just wisdom, but they're not smart, and they can't actually communicate to the gaggler. So it's just there. They sort of follow it, like hanging on. So yeah, they actually would have basically stuck with whoever they found first, which is essentially what happened, with the exception of dropping a tree on one of them and trapping it down there for a bit and stuff like that. They would always go for the most immediate target and the easier of the most immediate targets. So like 3 times its size. Yeah, I'm not really doing much against that. I'm gonna go fight the guy right next to me who is, my
At
size.
least equal size.
Yeah, at least equal size. So yeah. But I would say it's a combat miscalibration on my part, doubly so since Dusk is yeah. There's that. Let's see, what other stuff? Oh, the hut. The hut. You guys didn't take the healing potions out. I thought you guys would. I never thought you would.
What hut?
What?
The
cabin.
the cabin in the woods, not the movie.
Oh, well, you made it
Yeah,
sound
there's-
like everything down there was like old and useless.
Well, potions will last indefinitely. Like the
I didn't know
potions
there
you
were
guys have.
potions.
I said there's a test tube rack full of potions.
Oh.
Yeah. And the thing that you opened up, Dolly, the one that's spelled super weird that you couldn't see into, there's actually something in there that you guys didn't bother taking with you. It was like I guess the best way to call it is like an anesthetic wrap. So it would give you like 3d4 temp HP when you wrapped it around yourself, as like you get drugged up on like a certain spot.
That's annoying. Okay, what was that again? And the
No, I was gonna say take a guess.
Right, here there.
Did we see my lord?
It doesn't help. Okay.
But yeah.
So who's lunch and who actually became future gagglers then?
Uh,
Not gagglers, gagged, whatever. The
Gagged,
little
yeah, they're called
useless
gagged,
ones.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's the thing though. The gag can become gagglers.
Oh, cool.
I'm not joking. Yeah, I have a thing here. Let me hold on. Let me open up the gaggler sheet.
Oh, is that where like the human arms come from?
Yeah. So there's that. So that's its ability that it was attempted on you.
Hmm.
Yeah. So basically, you would take a D10 of necrotic damage until you die or it dies. And then it will, if you left yourself alone as a gagged long enough, you would eventually like die and become a gaggler. Like you just get a big egg in you and become a gaggler.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, it's a nasty monster. I'm finally happy to use that fucking image. It's been my fucking phone for like 2 years, a year and a half or something like that.
Very fascinating encounter. That was
Very,
fun.
very, very weird. I appreciate you guys stuck with me despite having a TPK, but hey, it's just it's fair. Mini campaign, so
No, wait,
and-
what's up with next week?
that is a